What is going on, everyone? AKB93 here. Happy Monday. Today we're going to get into episode 7 of Classroom of the Elite, but before we do, we're going to do a quick recap of episode 6. Episode 6 was wild. Definitely my favorite episode of the season. We had so many things happen in this episode. Let's start off with Kushida finally admitting to everyone, or not everyone, I guess, admitting to Ayana Koji her plans for the future, which involve getting Horikita expelled. And she's very adamant that it's going to happen, and she's not stopping, and there's no stopping her. And then she officially added Ayana Koji to the list of people that she wants to have expelled. And later on in the episode, Horikita confronts both Ryuen and Kushida. Horikita was still trying to come up with a way to get herself out of the trouble that she'd gotten into with Ryuen and that girl from Class C, and also Kushida. So she confronts them. She tries to record the conversation to sort of blackmail and sort of get Ryuen to confess that he did indeed set up her downfall in the sports festival. However, it didn't really work because Ryuen is very cunning himself. He's a very smart individual himself. He saw it coming, so he prepared measures himself to make sure he didn't get caught lacking. Also during that conversation, Kushida revealed her true nature, her true intentions to Horikita, and also Ryuen, who I'm assuming was seeing this side of her for the first time. She confirmed that both her and Horikita do have some history dating back to middle school. Kushida said that she was a problem child herself throughout middle school. Horikita's trying to figure out why she's being targeted, but however, Kushida's answer is very simple. She's trying to be someone different now, and anyone who knows who she was before, or knows her alternate side, or knows that alternate self that she has, needs to be removed, which explains why she's now added Ayana Koji to the list, and why Horikita is on the list. And she even mentions that Ryuen in the future may become someone she needs to get rid of as well, because Ryuen now knows this alternate side of her too. It was a very interesting exchange. Horikita and Ryuen went back and forth trying to blackmail each other. It looked like towards the end of the episode that Ryuen had the upper hand. However, a mystery person who was pulling Horikita's strings, had recorded the initial blackmail, the initial plan that Ryuen and the girl from Class C had brought up in order to get Horikita into this position that she was in. Obviously, we assume it's Ayana Koji that came through at the end, but it's nice to see that situation is not solved, but I'm glad to see Horikita is out of the woods for now. I guarantee obviously they're not going to stop coming at her because Ryuen is targeting her specifically, and Kushida is also obviously targeting her. So, interesting to see where that goes. I'm wondering if Horikita is already aware that Ayana Koji is the one behind saving her at the end of the episode, and maybe she'll confront him this time. We also came to the end of the sports festival. Very interesting ending there with Ayana Koji and the principal duking it out one-on-one, going at their full potential. It's the first time we've really seen Ayana Koji actually try his best. He mentioned it himself in the episode that he's never really tried at sports in front of a group of people. Keyword there was a large group of people. I'm assuming maybe he's done it before back in the special school that he was in, but it was interesting. I guess it turns out he ended up losing, but it was interesting to see, and interesting to try and understand why he decided to do this at this point in time, because the Ayana Koji that we've known was someone to always hold back and just sort of settle into the median there. For some reason, he decided to go at it with the president and show his stuff. My theory was that it was a way to sort of congratulate Horikita, or sort of stick up or stand up for Horikita for actually coming through on her end and collecting Pseudo as a weapon and bringing him back into the fold. Maybe this was his way of acknowledging her hard work by going at her brother, who he also gave the credit to. He also gave Horikita the credit for Class D coming back together. So it was a really dope episode. But without further ado, we're about to hop in episode 7. I'm looking forward to seeing what we're going to get into this time. But without further ado, let's hop in an episode of Classroom of the Elite. To doubt everything or to believe everything are two equally convenient solutions. Both dispense with the necessity of reflection. Wow. Interesting. Oh man, some of these quotes are very hard hitting. Are we at the end of our first year? Huh? Is it the end of the school year? Who is this? This feels so out of the blue. That seems, this just seems so out of nowhere. God damn. Oh? Oh? Yes, on the island he did work with him. When you get in bed with the devil, you gonna get burned. Are we getting people that are gonna start flocking to Horikita's side? That'd be interesting. She's in our class, right? Yeah, she is. But just so many random things happening this episode. Horikita's brother resigning from student council. Katsuragi approaching Ayana Koji, warning Horikita. And now this random girl whose name I don't know from our class approaching Ayana Koji with the blushing face. Just a random, it's been what, a minute and a bit, and just so many random things in the opening of the episode. So an interesting start to the episode. Let's see where this episode takes us. Is this because of his showing last episode? Oh. Interesting. Yo. Ayana Koji getting the digits. Interesting. Because you showed out last... Yes, see, that's what it was. Wow. I wasn't expecting it, but I'm not surprised. Oh, poor girl. Poor girl. Oh, Ayana Koji, don't hurt her, man. Oh? Oh? I sensed a hint of jealousy in the last episode. Okay, midterms, yeah. It's the middle of the year, so why is he resigning? Oh, Sudaho getting a 52! Yes, sir! Wow, she's controlling him already. Well done, class. Wow! Midterms, we've got half the school year so far, and we're all still here. Chashibata giving us an actual smile. No, y'all got a lot to go through. What's next? The next special exam. We're just rolling out these exams, eh? I forgot Sakura had a little crush there too, yeah. She wants to pair with Ayana Koji. What's her name again? We don't even remember her name. Next week's mini test. God damn. Another test, right? Jeez. Current academic ability. Okay. Okay, not so much pressure. Oh. Huh. Yeah. God damn. Oh, wow, okay. So, 44 per subject. Okay. Okay. Right, huh? Oh, shit. Oh, no, and Kushida is a traitor. Oh, no. Oh shit. This is really a chance for us to get ahead. Or at least close the gap a little bit. Okay, good. Good, good. She's a pair or two expelled every year. Could this be our chance to get rid of Kushida? I'm looking to get rid of her as soon as possible. This seems to be our first opportunity to do so. Hey. I always like his responses. Uh-oh. No name girl? Oh no, that's Karuzawa. Sato. Okay, I mean, didn't know her name. I feel bad for this Sato girl. Oh man. He's not dense at all. He's oh. Okay, so they're still together. They're still together. Okay. But I think she actually has the thing for Ayana Koji. No! 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 Say no. Please. I would rather you didn't. No! No, 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 no. No! Please! I don't want to see her anywhere near any of us. We need to fetch my bag first. Which means we need to talk. It's not. Sorry, y'all. I'm just so frustrated. I get it, but... Oh! We getting the sauce! Ooh, that was frightening. That was frightening. The little shadow, and then the way the screen... Oh, gosh. I wonder how much of this he knew already. Okay, we're in the same class. Oh my god. Okay. Oh gosh. Tell us, Ayana Koji. Eh. Manipulate. Yes, get rid of her, please. Yes, thank you. This is a different story. Get rid of her, man. Yes. I don't care. I don't care. Get rid of her. No, don't do it. No. Why? No. I yes, watch from afar. Don't get involved. Oh. Oh. There we go. It's out. How did you do it? Oh no. She's thankful. Oh man. Oh. Why is your class so dark? Y'all ain't got no teacher? Oh, he's gonna answer Anakoji's question? Oh. I don't know if that was the answer. It's interesting to see how we know how Ryuen does things, but it's interesting to see it play out. Oh, wasn't she the one that was bullying Karuizawa earlier? Oh my god. Oh my god. Uh-oh. Oh man, this guy, jeez. Oh. He's always there. Interesting. Kushida. Interesting. Huh. Wow. Ryuen is something else, man. This is gonna be my face every time I see her talk. Will determine the paper. Yeah, I mean, I guess we figured that. Are you following this, Pseudo? Making sure he's paying attention. That would make sense. Better chance of people passing. Based on the okay, that makes sense. Based on how they've done so far. Oh. Just throw the test all together. Okay. Makes sense. Good way to turn this in our favor. Can manipulate the results. Okay. Oh gosh. I like seeing Pseudo involved in this group. I don't like Kushida being there, but I like this group that we've got here together. It seems like a solid plan. Oh yeah. Do you guys really want to go head to head with Class C though? I'm hesitant to go up against Ryuen in any way, shape, or form, to be honest. Oh. So their arrangement seems platonic. It feels like she actually likes him. Or she's starting to like him. It's a good cover, yeah. Unless that's how she really feels. He sees right through her. He sees right through her. He sees right through her. That makes more sense, yeah. She likes him. Yes, we need to talk about Manabe. That was interesting. And he's reassuring her. Well done, Ayana Koji. Ends the call by reassuring her that their agreement stands. Yes. Oh damn, that's pretty serious. That's pretty serious. Delete any record of their conversations. I think she definitely likes him. Okay. It is a good plan. They're born premature. Huh. Makes sense. It does make sense. We're not a complete product when we're born. Very interesting. Interesting. Oh, we're just jumping to the mini test. Okay, shit. Which is what he wanted. Maybe she's done it. Interesting. Oh wow, we're just going into, okay. We're just rolling along. Oh, she got Sato. Wait. Horikita and Suno. Ayana Koji and Sato. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Okay, that was a good episode. That was a good follow-up to what we had the last episode. So we figured out who gave Ayana Koji the information, and of course Manabe. It's interesting that she came back in this way. Wasn't expecting her to come back like this. I expected her to pop back up into the story while she's bullying Karuizawa, or trying to. So it's safe to assume that Ayana Koji has now was blackmailing Manabe with the bullying issue over her head in order to get her to play the spy and play the traitor for Class C to get the information that he needed to eventually come in and save Horikita. So that confirms how Ayana Koji got that information, thankfully, because I didn't want to spend too much time on that. Ayana Koji does certain things, right? But we always tend to find out how he gets it done, or how he accomplishes his goals. And in this case, in order to save Horikita, he used Manabe to get the information. So that's not solved, obviously. Now Ryuen now has 2 names added to his list. We now have Ayana Koji, and was it Yashimura? The other guy with the glasses that was with us in the very first test of the season, because they were obviously the 2 witnesses of the bullying that was taking place against Karuizawa. So it makes sense that one of those 2 would have to be the so-called mastermind, because obviously one of them would have blackmailed Manabe to get that information from her. So I guess we'll see how Ryuen decides to try and figure out who is the mastermind between the 2. So this will be interesting. It was nice to see Ayana Koji sort of taking a step back and letting Horikita take control of things, and seeing how she develops and seeing how she handles the situation at hand. So far so good. Looks like she's brought forth a pretty solid plan, a pretty solid proposition. The class has united under her proposition, and they've agreed to do what she's asked. So that is unity in a way. It's only for this one test, obviously, but if things go well for this specific test, we can probably see this going on again in the future, where they'll unite under Horikita and she's able to lead them in a way that Ayana Koji was not expecting. That's what really stood out for me when he mentioned an unprecedented unity, because I remember a few episodes ago, that's why he chose Karuizawa, because Karuizawa, as far as he knew, would be the one that could unite the girls in the class, which could then lead to unity of Class D, which is what they're going to need if they're going to ascend further to Class C, B, and eventually to Class A. And he said Horikita wasn't suited for that role, but maybe she's going to start coming into that role as someone who can lead the people, right? So that'll be an interesting development for Horikita. My only concern now is that if that becomes the case, then Karuizawa and Ayana Koji, their arrangement is no longer valid, or is no longer needed, because now Horikita can unite the class. But we'll see how that goes. Obviously their arrangement serves some purpose. It's already served some purpose so far throughout the series, but there is some purpose that Ayana Koji is working towards that he needs Karuizawa for. So we'll see what that is. We'll see what that is. Interesting that they just sort of inserted this girl Sato into like I guess maybe like a bit of a love triangle here, because to me it seems like Karuizawa is starting to develop some kind of feelings or affection towards Ayana Koji. You see her getting a bit jealous. To me, I got that hint of jealousy in the last episode as well, towards the end when Horikita and Ayana Koji were talking in the classroom about the results of the school festival, and how she was watching them and then she just got up and she left. I took that as her being slightly jealous. I could be wrong, but that's just how I took it as a viewer. But now we've seen those hints of jealousy start to come up a bit more in this episode. But anyways, I'm interested in seeing the dynamic of the relationship and how it changes or how it may evolve going forward. I also like that during the conversation, Ayana Koji was smart to remember to reassure her that his side of the arrangement will still stand, right? And that's, I feel like that's a form of him continuing to manipulate her, because despite the fact that he's willing to help her and she's willing to help him, at the end of the day, what it comes down to is he is manipulating her, and he is manipulating everyone around him to achieve a certain goal that he envisions, right? So whatever he says to her, whatever he does for her, until I see otherwise, until I see signs that indicate otherwise, my understanding is that she's being manipulated to play this role. That's just what I got from that interaction. Oh yeah, and the start of the episode, it threw me off a little bit, because we are at midterms. And if I understand correctly, midterm is the middle of the term, obviously. So we're not at the end of the school year. I would understand if it was the end of the school year and Horikita's brother was graduating and therefore could not continue as the school president. However, for him to resign in the midterm is just sort of funny to me. And then they introduced this new character whose name I can't remember, but I can assume he will play a role going forward. It was just sort of interesting how the episode started, just a bunch of random things happening. None of them really got resolved in the episode aside from the Sato thing, which didn't really get resolved, but I don't know. I guess we'll see going forward. Anyways, y'all, pretty good episode, pretty good follow-up to episode 6. I guess just getting the results of what happened, and we're just moving on into another test. We got a few tests coming up. We've got the pairings the way we want them, it seems. Thanks to Horikita's plans, we got the pairings of the better academic students with the lesser academic students the way we want it. So everything's going to be evened out, everything's going to be averaged out correctly. That way, that gives us a bit more of an upper hand going into this actual test. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. That'll continue obviously next week. They waste no time jumping into these tests and progressing the story, so I appreciate that. I don't know if they're rushing. It doesn't feel rushed to me, but maybe someone who reads the light novel, or is it a manga, the light novel or the manga, they may feel like it's being a bit rushed, because we're just hopping into storyline after storyline, and the storyline is just continuing. So I'm looking forward to seeing where we go from here. Obviously, we're going to go into the test in the next episode, since we're not wasting no time. And last thing, they touched on Kushida in middle school slightly, something about a classroom getting destroyed. It looked heavily vandalized with graffiti, broken chairs, broken desks, just disaster and destruction in the room. And the rumors were saying that Kushida caused it herself. Now, Horikita stressed that they were rumors, so that nothing's been confirmed. So I guess we'll see where that goes. I'm just tired of seeing her on my screen at this point. I tolerated her towards the end of season 1, and so far at the start of season 2 until the last episode specifically, where she started to act a little sus, and then she really came out with her intentions. I'm like, nope, I'm done with her. I don't want to see her. I don't want to hear her. I don't want to look at her, to be honest. And she's probably going to be the thumbnail for the video, but whatever. We'll see where that goes, y'all. But if you guys like the video, if you guys like the reaction, please hit that like button. You guys hitting that like button lets me know you guys are enjoying the content I'm putting out and encourages me to put out more videos for you guys. And if you guys would like to join me on this YouTube journey, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I am doing these Classroom of the Elite reactions every Monday, so you guys look forward to those. If you guys are interested, hit that subscribe button for more videos. But that's it for me. AKB93, thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.